Good day, my name is David Cairns and I am the Fujitsu UForge Offering Manager or Product Manager. Today I'm going to give you a demonstration of UForge, a software-based solution. And before we start that, I need to have an example to work with. So you see on screen a simple form, a quiz if you like, asking the question, where is this effective copy of the Golden Gate Bridge located in the planet? So if you look on the picture, the middle bridge looks like the Golden Gate. It's a real bridge. Where is it? So you vote, and effectively a simple e-voting application. Now the reason I show you that is that we have to work with an application today. So without further ado, let's log into UForge. So UForge is a SaaS service, and as you can see here, it's on the internet. A simple login from anywhere will get you in. The simple interface only has a few tabs on the left, and you can see a dashboard of the things that you've created in terms of appliances, as you would know them, software components, a library, and generations and scans I'm going to come on and explain shortly. So let's have a little walk through of this interface. So profile is my login credentials, my details, and about me. Credentials is actually some cloud accounts and hypervisor accounts that you will have previously entered for your chosen platforms. Now migration, let's talk about migration to begin with. What I can do with migration in UForge is I can scan in servers, Windows and Linux, and I can bring them into UForge. So the best thing to show is actually that happening. So I've got down here a Linux server and a Windows server that we can scan in. So here is a Linux server. It is a CentOS server, as you can see here. And the first thing we have to do is install a binary. So I've previously installed that binary. It's only about 20 meg in size. And you can delete it afterwards. It's not an installation as such. So once that's installed, we can effectively run this binary. You'll see the command here is giving it execute rights, and we give it the scan that we're going to give a name. Let's call this Katachi. That's the application name. We'll call it scan 5. Scan 6. I think I've done scan 5. So if I hit carriage return, what it now does is ask me for the credentials on the UForge server. This is so that it can actually send the whole server, the whole Linux server, up to UForge. So it's now doing that. As you can see, it's now gearing up, as it says. It's now scanning this Linux, this CentOS server, and if I in background refresh UForge, you will see that that's being brought in. So there you go at the very top at 0%. It's started to bring that Linux server in. So while that's happening, let's do the same for a Windows server. You can see there at the bottom it's trundling away. So let's find my Windows server. Here is a Windows 2012 server, and again we have a simple binary file that's just placed on the server, not installed. You run it once, then delete it, so not intrusive at all. So if I double click that binary file, I get this dialog box which asks me to scan the server, and do I want to exclude any drives, etc., and give it a name. So we'll call this scan 6 win, so we know it's the Windows version. And if we hit scan, it'll go off and do the same thing, so you can see it started. So let's minimize that, refresh here, and see the second scan coming in as well. So there you go, Linux server and a Windows server being scanned into UForge. Now this brings all the data as well as the operating system, all the files in one package. And it will only bring effectively the data on the volume that exists, any volumes that are fully sized, any free space of course won't be brought. And it's got intelligent locking as well, so it will capture the files in a state that is usable or crash consistent. So let's just leave that running and explain what these other scans on the screen are. These are previous servers I've scanned in. So let's have a look at one or two of them, shall we? So scan 5 here, let's click on that, see what that is, and immediately you can see it's a Windows scan I've done before, and it breaks down the scan and shows you the applications that were installed on this server. So it had some backup software, Visual C from Microsoft, and it had Wingate, a proxy solution, a Windows proxy solution. Click on services, you'll see all the Windows services that make up that machine, and yeah, general descriptions. Let's go back to scans and look at the Linux scan and see the difference in the data. So a Linux scan similarly has all the packages that will be installed in that server. So these should come up, and it'll also show me well, there's all the packages for the server that have been installed. all the operating system directories that make up the operating system for this server, and it explains it's a CentOS server as well. So let's go back to my scans. That's happening in background. As you can see, that's bringing it into the server. What can we do once we've brought those in? Well, I'll show you in a second, but before we do, this little button at the top, compare, nice little button, lets me compare scans. So if I choose a machine that I scanned a month ago and then scanned maybe the next day or a weekday afterwards, I can compare two scans to effectively check the machine for changes. So this will reveal any files, folder down to bit, byte level that have changed. And you'll see at the bottom that between these two dates, a month ago, that this was scanned, the second scan reveals these files have changed. We'd expect an audit log to change, but here's a file, hack.exe. You really probably don't want to see that file, and that's probably because somebody's added something. So we can immediately tell by using this feature any additions to the server. And if a DevOps or a developer had performed some code changes, you could see those as well and perhaps roll back. Which takes me on to my next part of the demonstration, whilst those scans are coming in. So once we've got a scan, we can convert that scan into infrastructure as code. Because it's a full fat scan. This is the data, this is the operating system, but we can actually convert that into a model. And that infrastructure as a code model allows me to then make changes. So if I go to one up here in the Apps tab, we'll cover the other tabs shortly. You'll see here Katachi, that's the e-survey application I showed you at the very beginning, and it's been scanned in and converted to a template. And let's just drill down into a little bit more into what we can see inside this template. So immediately you can see a description, the name, a version, a little bit of text on the makeup. It's Apache Web Server, Oracle MySQL Database, Oracle Java and Development Kit make up the application. If I go to the stack screen, you'll see the makeup of the stack. So this is the operating system and the files that make up this CentOS machine. If I go to the My Software tab, this is all the software that makes up the application. It's been effectively brought in. And an install profile, if you look in there, you'll see certain parameters that allow you to set for this machine when you go to deliver it somewhere else. So the users and groups, the security, whether you've got SE Linux enabled, networking, whether you're using DHCP or IP address, specific kernel parameters, the rest are fairly self-explanatory. Also, we can have a look in here into this model, this infrastructure as code model, and see the operating system packages in a timeline. So this shows a nice little picture view of this operating system and application files of its history. And what I can see is that there's 99 updates available. It actually knows to go out to the repos and check that. And if I want, I can roll forward and back. I could roll back to this time and click here, simulate the changes, it'll show me the packages, and if I press the update button, it'll roll this back. Similarly, I could roll forward to the very latest position for the operating system packages and application packages, but of course, I may not want the very latest for security reasons. And this is everything, operating system, the MySQL, the Apache, all the repos and all the updates. So that's a nice way of keeping your server in a state where you can manage it at a given level. Machine images, this is where effectively I can take this machine and send it somewhere else. So let's just go back and just review that. If I go back to the beginning where you saw my templates that have been converted, I've got I can just drill straight in and choose the generate button here top right. And this is really good because I can now push this application server that I've pulled in to any cloud. I can just press a single button and I can push this to cloud. I'm going to show you doing that to Oracle shortly. I could push it to a container system, so I could send it to the Docker registry, or I could create a Lexi Linux container version of the file, and it'll run on a container runtime, Kubernetes or whatever your chosen one is. I can also convert it to a physical machine, place it on a physical machine here, an ISO or a PXE boot, pre-execution boot machine image, and of course I could send it to a hypervisor, just with a single click of a button. And that's a demonstration we're going to do today. So in fact, let's just do that, shall we? So if I go to my demonstration machine, you'll see here under apps the Katachi application, and what I intend to do is push that from here to Oracle Cloud. By pressing the generate button, I then get the choice of all the cloud types, and there's Oracle. So I'll press Oracle, and it's as simple as effectively just hitting the generate button, taking the standard defaults, and it asks me some key questions here in terms of where I want to push it. So the first thing it does is it creates a Oracle Cloud image. So it's converting at this point the source server from wherever it came from, that could be anywhere, and it's creating it in Oracle Cloud format. Now that'll take a bit of time, at which point we can then push it into Oracle Cloud. So we'll leave that running and just check on our migrations coming in for Linux and Windows. You can see here that we've got our Hitachi finished 7 minutes ago. That's good. Our CentOS Linux image. We're still bringing in the Windows one. I think that was about 15 gig, a bit fatter, so take a bit longer. So what we'll do is we'll leave those running. That's the push into Oracle and this image here. And I'll pause the video and come back once that's complete. Okay, you can see that the Windows server is still uploading. Let's go and check on the Oracle Publish. Let's see how that's doing. So yes, we've created the Oracle formatted image, and the next step now is pressing this button here to push it into, well, Oracle Cloud. So if I click here, account, it's going to look up my account credentials that I previously saved here in credentials. And then it wants to know where I'm going to put it. So Oracle Cloud has many zones. So we will choose this endpoint here, and we'll place that here. And then we'll give it a name. So this is the Hitachi application, the survey application, and we'll now press the publish button. What this now does is take that image from the UForge platform, it's formatted in Oracle Cloud, and it'll now push that into Oracle Cloud. So this is going from the internet to the Oracle zone that I chose. So again, that'll take a bit of time. So we'll have a look at the Windows server while that's doing that. That's at 65%. Let's pause and come back and see when that's finished. Okay, let's go and check on that Oracle Publish and see how that's doing now. So, right, well there you go, it's now pushed it into Oracle. So there on the left is the image formatted for Oracle, and there's the image pushed into Oracle from the UForge platform. So we should now be able to log into my Oracle account, which is here, and we should be able to just check and see if that image is now inside Oracle. So this is instances, these are the running images. If I go to the image directory, you see I've got a lot of images here. Let's just search in the word Hitachi, which is what we gave it, and hopefully, yes, there we go. There's the 400 megabyte uncompressed 2 gig image for that e-voting application. So of course from here I can now create an instance just by going to the Oracle wizard and taking the standard size settings for the server, CPU, RAM, and for the networking through the wizard. And of course that'll then let me build that server and run that to my satisfaction. So that was pretty simple. Just in terms of demonstration, let's do a bit of a recap. Let's go and, well, that Windows server is going to take a while to come in, so let's do a recap on what we've done today. So if I go to PowerPoint, we had to go in there sometime. Here is the use cases that we ran through today. So there's migration, we did that first. We took a scan of a live server, Windows or Linux, and we brought it into the UForge platform. We generated an image, and then we uploaded that to Oracle Cloud. Now, as you can see, that was 10 times faster than doing that normally. And normally you'd be going through all sorts of conversion routines and programs and all the many formats of cloud and hypervisor. That can take hours, if not days. So as a result, 30% cost savings, taking the human out of the equation, taking that timescale right down, literally to minutes. In terms of the second use case, the application template, we took a scan and we converted that into infrastructure as code. JSON, YAML, whatever you want to call it. It reduced it to a model. And that let me then push that to any of those cloud targets you saw. So that's all the cloud types, all the container types, bare metal, or indeed, I could at that point stick it in a library for calling to build anywhere at any time. And again, in terms of application onboarding, starting up that e-voting application will be 30 times faster because it's in the library ready to go. 100% automation. Okay, that's a fast demonstration today, and I'll hope that you got the answer right to my quiz. And of course, if you want to see more, just come to our stand and we shall demonstrate the whole thing to you. Thank you.